All right, it looks like we are now live. I know I'm live because YouTube is yelling at me that the image quality is too large. Facebook is telling me that the image quality is too high. And Twitch isn't telling me anything at all. Apparently, I have an exclamation mark here. Use is going away. Okay, I don't care. Good for you. I never really cared all that much about that one. So, yeah, that is it here. This is Joe coming to you live. Yes, live again. This is like the fourth time in a row. This is getting exciting here. This is getting really exciting. Going live, talking to people. There's no one in chat currently. And hey, if you're listening to the audio version of this, I go live 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube, Twitch, and Facebook Live. Catch me on any of those platforms, anytime, anyway, anywho. It will be just good. I mean, it'll be fun. Got some text messages coming through here. Shout out to my brother-in-law who is currently in Florida playing for the club tennis national championship for college. So good luck to Purdue. I don't know of any other schools right now. From what I hear, the whole tournament is in a rain delay. And, that's exactly what you came here for, to catch up on club tennis. Duh. I mean, that's what this is all about. This is Joe's Club Tennis Podcast, obviously. Duh. But I cannot get too much further into this without talking about the lovely sponsor, Reaper Discs. Reaper Discs has a huge selection of discs that are in stock all the time. A giant cast of rotating discs that come through. They've got Tour Series, they've got regular, they've got Halo discs. They might even have a Halo Polecat. Who knows? They might have a Halo Polecat. I don't know. We also have they also have flat rate shipping, $4.95 in the US. I believe that is continental. I can't speak. I don't live in Hawaii and I don't live in Alaska, though I have visited Alaska and it is a very, very beautiful state. They have, like I said, huge selection of discs. They have Discraft, Discmania, Dynamic Discs, Westside Disc, Latitude 64, Prodigy, Streamline, Innova, a whole bunch of different discs there. MVP, duh, and super fast, super on top of it. You get a sweet handwritten note and a couple stickers. These are the two that I got. My co-host RJ on the Half in the Bag podcast got these same stickers. So I don't know if these are the only ones or if, you buy 1,000 stickers and then you give them out for a while. And then when those run out, you buy new ones. I don't know exactly how that works out, but that is what it is. Here we go. We are getting into it. I want to say big shout out to everybody who was here last week talking in chat. Again, if you want to get in chat and you're listening to this after the fact, well, you need to hop on and just hop on and chat. We'll keep chatting as long as you want, because I can't talk. And words are very hard. Enunciation is key, and diction is good, I guess. I don't know exactly, but plenty of things to talk about. We got Heather Young taking a break. Joel Freeman's freak out might be a little exaggeration, might be a little clickbaity, but it got you to listen, to watch, to view, and that is what counts, are the views, because YouTube algorithm and whatnot. Also talk about Music City Open, the Tallahassee Open at Tallahassee is happening this weekend, coming up here, starting today when you listen to this recording. And other than that, not much to talk about with that, as well as the College Disc Golf Nationals. Good time there. A local school in Fort Wayne will be attempting to do it all next year, but they don't have a full team yet, or they didn't get registered in time or something. I don't know. They aren't officially in the college disc golf stuff. So, they're there. Drinking from my very lovely manly cup here, Starbucks cup. Got some tea, trying to keep the voice fresh and keep things going. Who knows? May or may not get some people in here. Normally, what I have done in the past was let the intro sequence kind of run for about 10 minutes, give or take. Turns out that the stuff that I was using had some music in it that is copyright protected by Sony, allegedly. So I took down the videos. That's why you may have noticed that all of the previous live streams have been taken down. Didn't get any copyright strikes. Channel's not in trouble, but they're just like, Facebook was like, yo, dog. And I was like, hey, brah, yo, man, I'll do it. They're going, sweet, dog. Yeah. So I've got that. And so as a precaution, Facebook caught it while I was streaming. YouTube, I've been using the same music and everything for well over a year. YouTube has not caught it. So I don't know if it is a fact of the matter that there's something different with how Facebook checks it versus YouTube or whatever. Either way, not taking the chances. So just delaying here a little bit at the time. But yeah, I think this is about good to go. So here we are. We are going to jump into our first topic here. Heather Young is taking a break from touring. This happened today. We're in April. April 7th, 2022. She posted on Instagram. I'm going to read the post here, and then we could kind of talk a little bit about this. She says, "Hi, everyone. I have some unexpected news to share. I'm going to be taking at least several months off of the disc golf tour. I've had some ongoing struggles with what my plans are for the future with disc golf and life in general. While dealing with some of these issues, I feel like I have lost my desire to play, which makes it very hard to compete at the highest level. I'm hopefully that by taking, sorry, I'm reading this like live here. I'm hopeful that by taking a step back for a while, I will regain that fire that drives me to be one of the best." Words are so hard, especially when the font that I have here is like half the size of the rest of the font. And so it was really, 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 really difficult to read. Over the last few years, Heather Young has been consistently a top 10 finisher, maybe not at every single tournament, but definitely way up there all the time. She's one of those people that you just expect to be up there. And, she's been playing well. She's been touring since 2018. She's only had one top 10 finish this year, though. That was the Open at Belton. Excuse me. Powering through yawn here. Kids are great. They wake you up early and let you sleep. It's awesome. But she started touring 2018. Since she started touring, the tour itself has changed drastically. In the last 4 years, look at what's happened. The rise of the Disc Golf Network has really taken off. PDGA has given up their sad attempt at keeping the national tour alive. The national tour was a great start. Don't get me wrong. Before there was the national tour, there was nothing. So it was good. And then we saw how the Disc Golf Pro Tour could just do it better. And PDGA couldn't keep up. And now that they've given up all of those, they finally decided to hire some people to run the majors as like their full-time job. But, that makes too much sense. Who would do such a thing like that? Hey, whatever. But we've got, so the tour has changed drastically since then, between post-production coverage, what you need to succeed at the highest levels has changed. I mean, look at all the players this year who in the off season have practiced putting, who have practiced some stuff other than going out and doing some field work and have drastically improved their game. And it is now a full-time job. I mean, you're a professional disc golfer, but now it is clearly a full-time job. And I keep hitting the microphone. I'm sorry, everybody. But, that's a lot to take in. And I don't know what kind of personal struggles Heather Young is going through. I don't know what that means, whether that is physical or mental, familial, something. I wish her the best. I hope that whatever it is, she can figure it out, and hopefully she can get back on tour, because she's going to be sorely missed this year not touring. I hope that she can make it at least for the back half of the tour. But, physical, mental health, whatever it is, comes first. And I hope she figures all of that out. But, yeah, that's about that. Yeah. Sorry. Checking on my wife who's texting me and all that fun stuff. Shout out to the 2 people who are currently, allegedly, in the YouTube chat. I say allegedly because YouTube has told me that there have been 5 people in chat before, and I go to look and I go to say hi, and there are nobody in chat, because good job, YouTube. A+. I know podcast format has kind of taken a little bit of a weird turn since I've gone live. I've worked on, interacting with you people live, you wonderful, beautiful, amazing disc golf loving people, because you're awesome. You want to know why? It is because that you're because you're fans here and you're watching. Question here. Is she possibly being reprimanded by Prodigy for her poor performance? I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. With all the way the contracts have changed, I don't know what performance bonuses or hindrances may or may not be coming up, given, what's out there right now. Maybe, I know Prodigy has taken their lumps in the offseason, losing Chris Dickerson and Katrina Allen. And then Kevin Jones has not exactly been doing well. And off the top of my head, outside of Heather Young, I can't recall who else is on the Prodigy touring team. And Hugh Bonus says, I feel like I'm the best putter in the world right now. Even though I'm not a pro or touring amateur, my confidence with putting with the Berg makes me feel better than the best putter ever known. Yeah, I've heard that about the Berg. It really makes you the best of the best of the best, sir. Name that movie. But yeah, my putt, I've been practicing all off season, and these last 2, so I played a tournament a couple weeks ago. I played league this week, and the putt has just been off, and I don't know what it is. I am great from 25 feet, putting in my office, through a doorway, at a skinny chained mock shift. And yet I step up to a putt out in a tournament and poop my pants. I shot a 2 down in the rain the other day, and it felt god awful. It felt terrible. I don't know what was going on. I wish I could blame the rain. Actually, on one of them, I definitely can blame the rain, because I went to go throw and the disc definitely slipped out. I thought I had it dry enough. I didn't, that's on me, whatever. My superpower is sweaty hands, but once it gets too wet, it is not that handy there. Heyo. But yeah, the putt was not feeling good, and I left probably 6 strokes out there. At least 6 strokes out there. Ended up shooting better than my current rating at a 925. It is, can't wait for that ratings update next week. I believe that will be coming out, so my rating should be going up. But this is not just about ratings. Do have match play going on. If you want to feel good about yourself, you can tune in to Facebook Live, the Fort Disc Golf page, or look at Twitter. I'll have a link, or Half in the Bag Disc Golf podcast will have a link. You could watch the match play match that I will be at and playing. We are playing PFW Golds, which is a longer, little more technical version of PFW. And yeah, like I said, if you want to feel better about yourself, go ahead and watch that. The guy I'm supposed to be playing, he also played at League. I beat him by a stroke, but in match play, that means diddly squat, to be completely honest. So that is another shameless plug right there. Question in here from co-host RJ, who is apparently watching, but too chicken crap to actually type something out in chat. Yes, I'm calling you out. He asked, could it be the wind? It might be the wind. It might be who knows what. There's a little bit of me also just stepping up and not feeling confident. So this is something I was going to talk about a little bit later, but I guess this goes into it. At Music City Open, again, I'm going to be beating a dead horse here. You don't have to have a channel. All you have to do is, for chat, is there a weird setting on? Participants. Nope. I don't know. There might be a weird setting here. But as I try to figure this out, we'll go through here. You should be able to, everybody should be able to talk here. Yeah, participation mode, anyone. Anyway, yes, I don't feel confident, and which is different than what is going on with Evelina Salonen. Watching her putt and talking with some co-host here, with the co-host RJ, again, half in the bag. Should go watch that. We had a little chat on our last episode trying to figure out whether or not Evelina Salonen's putting struggle is lack of confidence or the yips. And for those of you who don't know what the yips are screwing up a very basic routine that you do all the time. So a great example would be a catcher in baseball or softball catching and then totally just throwing the ball back over the pitcher, or throwing it in the ground or just not throwing it correctly to the pitcher. It's not that the catcher is not confident, but like you see it, he throws it and it's just like he doesn't know, his arm is not attached to his brain essentially. And you don't know what's going on. But that's that versus confidence where you can just see it in their approach, see it in their stance, see it in their eyes where they're just like, they're looking at whatever task they're going to do, whether that's throwing back to the pitcher or putting in disc golf. And you can just see that they don't know what's going to go on. Watching Evelina putt, we both kind of came to the conclusion that it's the yips, or as I spelled it in my show notes, the yipes. Either way, same thing-ish. So I think it's the yips. He thinks it's the yips because when she steps up, she looks confident. It's not, and she's always been a fast putter. So some people, when they're not doing well, they just want to step up and chuck the putt. She is doing that a little bit, but at the same time, if you look back at some of her past performances before she had all these issues, you go back and look at the European Championship, she's a quick putter and she was making decent putts and I'm not even saying that she has to be like the best putter in FPO or the best putter of all time. If she was even just 50% from circle one, she would be winning tournaments and being right up there in contention easily. But just looking at her, she steps up and 3 putts from inside 20 feet on hole 3 or hole 4 early on in the final round of MCO. And it was rough to watch, to say the least. It was really, really, really rough to watch because she just goes up and she throws it and it's on hyzer. And 2 times she doesn't even hit metal. She doesn't hit the pole. She doesn't hit the cage. She doesn't hit chains. She doesn't hit the band. She hits nothing. She airmails it twice from about the same distance. And the one that went in barely went in. Like it barely hit a chain. It was all straight into the basket. that would be the left side. I had to think about it for a minute. So yeah, I don't know. Innova definitely needs to make a Berg knockoff. They could call it the Brick, because that would be fine. And yeah, I have thrown. Hugh Bonus said that Evelina needs a Berg. My preference is the K1 plastic over the K3 for better grip and durability. I'm not familiar with the different Castoplast types of plastic. I prefer soft putters. Not the super soft, not a flubby wubby disc or the blowfly. Although I do have a blowfly. I'm talking about like the soft-ish ones. But otherwise, that is what it is. Those are the kind of ones I like. I don't prefer the harder plastic ones. I don't like Prime. I don't like Classic Hard or the equivalents and whatever. I'm most familiar with the Trilogy Plastic. So, I might go with like a BT Medium or Classic Blend. That's about it. So yeah, Innova, you need to get on making the Berg knockoff. You have no problems taking all of the former Discmania molds, so why not just copy paste from somebody else who you didn't make their discs for, but why not? But hey, so I don't know what it needs to be, whether that is completely like she has a staggered spin putt. Does she go to a straddle putt? Yeah, because now I also get a view. Thanks, RJ. Good job. RJ asked if it was better. So, boom, goes the dynamite. Anyway, chew. K1 is like Royal Grand-ish. K3 is like BT Hard or even DX. Okay. Thank you for translating. I appreciate it. I feel like we need that. Like every manufacturer it seems like every manufacturer is starting to get if I throw this in from this company, what is that in your company and vice versa? We need to do that with plastics. I like Classic Soft. What is that in Innova? What is that in Castoplast? What is that in Discmania? It's probably Classic Soft because Latitude's making it. It's got a different name, but whatever. Yeah, so that's all that fun stuff there. But yeah, kind of summing it up, Evelina putting struggles. If she makes half of her putts, she's winning a lot of tournaments. And the reason I keep harping on it is just because she is crushing it on the drives and on the upshots. She is first by a long shot in strokes gained tee to green. She is killing the field. And then she gets killed by the field because, again, she is dead last when it comes to strokes gained in putting, which means she's giving up more strokes in putting than she is gaining from driving, which is insane. Because then you'll watch your 3-putt. I watched her 3-putt and then lace a perfect drive on the very next hole. Like it was nothing. So who knows what's going on? Sports psychologist would be a great thing. Like as disc golf grows, whether that is something from offered with like sports medicine stuff offered as part of like a tour card package. Maybe you pay a little more for the tour card, but you get all these extra benefits. Or maybe that's something from the manufacturers, something. I don't know. Maybe they're independent and they pay like, maybe not the best example, but Ricky and Paul like the sports psychologist. So they, say, the sports psychologist says, oh, it's going to cost this much if you want me at all these tournaments. They play pretty much all of them and they go, all right, halvesies. Or they get a couple different people. You get Paige in on it. You get Kristen Tatar. I'm trying to think of people who could legitimately afford to pay someone like that. And I keep itching my nose. I'm sorry. My allergies are starting to go bananas right now. We also need to get standardized numbers. Yes. I am absolutely sick of the video being reposted from Stuff Made Here, where the guy has the arm-mounted disc launcher. So yeah, where that keeps coming up. But if he could get something where it was like mounted and you could get it to spin and you could set it at a specific speed, a specific angle, and you could go like, all right, so, speed is based on rim diameter or rim thickness. And then flight numbers after that based on different landing. That'd be great. Let's see. We got a few things here. Using my 2K1s for most of my main putters. Cool. Hydroponics. When it comes to putting, the best FPO putters are in line with the worst MPO putters, in my opinion. But you can't point that out without someone dropping the misogynist label on you. Yeah, I think the best putters are... I know the best putter from last year was Owen Scoggins, and she was 82-ish%. Don't quote me exactly. I know it was low 80s on that side right now. She was the best putter, which would have put her down a decent way. Most of the best putters for MPO are in the 90s. So I don't know if that means we should make circle one bigger. I'm a little bit for that. Step putts from 33 feet seem, at this point where our sport is going, seem pretty easy for those guys. For me, not a chance. I'm struggling from 20 feet. I'm struggling from 25 feet. Like, no. But for a pro, different story. We're not talking about how crappy I am. We're talking about how good they are. Yeah. But overall, the FPO putting is their best putters are about 10 to 15% less, worse, whatever, than MPO side. I don't know how that all affects things. In my mind, putting is, I say easy. It's probably the easiest thing to work on, because if you can hit anywhere from inside 33 feet, you're doing really, really well. You're doing super well. Like, it's repetition. I don't know what it is. You're not throwing that far. It's not like you're trying to lace a 300-foot drive down a tunnel shot and trying to get a certain skip, or even to get it land flat. You're not trying to do a hyzer flip or something. Evelina at Waco, for the first two tournaments, for the first two rounds, she was leading and had a 0% in putting. To be fair, though, with some of that is, like round one, it was super windy, super rainy. So everybody outside of 20 was just laying up. And because the winds were so high and so bad that, like, if you tried to run it, you were probably missing it. Even on the guy's side, they were laying up outside like 25. So that really helped. So her park percentage, like, was really good. Round two, it was her park percentage. Like, she made like 2 putts and that was about it. And then round three, it was bad. It was bad. But moving back to Music City Open, in my opinion, it's a decent course. I think it could be better for a silver series. It's, the course layout was fine. They didn't have a great setup for the FPO side. MPO was fine. They need to either clear out all the brush, all the sticker bushes, and all the thorns and everything on the sides of the fairways, or make it OB. Because, and we could talk a little bit about this, but like Nikko was taking forever, but everybody was taking forever. Like, some of the hard part was just not necessarily finding your disc, but finding a way into it to get your disc, because the brush was so thick and it was just so bad. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's just, it felt like it needed to be cleaned up a bit. The course presentation was all right. Again, Silver Series, so, not as many resources are being thrown to it. I know the local guys are trying to make everything look the best, and I'm not trying to say that like they intentionally did something wrong. I thought I saw some chatter on there that the guys from Nashville were not very happy with the course that was picked, that was used, because they said it didn't accurately represent like the disc golf scene in Nashville and the Nashville area. I have never disc golfed there. I don't think I've even been to Nashville. So I could not even tell you what a good course would be, other than say, look at UDisc. UDisc could tell you, but that's all right. hit the like button if you guys would help. Helps boost Joe's exposure. Yes, I love being exposed. Wait a minute. It's like that great Blues Brothers quote, exploitation. I know how to exploit. I've been exploited my whole life. It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it. Blues Brothers, great movie. And next up on Joe's Movie Reviews podcast, we'll be talking about another current movie, Blazing Saddles. No, I'm kidding. Talking about MCO. Like I said, they either need to clear out the brush, do something with that. I don't know if like Parks Department is saying like, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that, which, I mean, we've run into that a bit here in Fort Wayne. We actually, one of the courses, hole 17 at PFW from the Blacks, got a lot easier because they cut out 3/4 of the brush. It used to be like a letter C to get around. It was like 280-ish feet. I don't know. RJ, help me out. Ish, forehand shot, kind of downhill a little bit, and just you needed something to go. You played back towards a creek. It was all right. It made it tough because it had to be a forehand shot. Turnover shots could make it. I watched one guy sail it long because the wind just kind of kept it up and went. Yeah, hole 17. Yeah, RJ, you are exposed to me enough, but you're also inoculated. They cleared out so much brush that it is not so much a big hyzer forehand as you could get away with throwing something straight and letting it kind of crash down. The ceiling is a little low, but overall it is a much easier shot. Now, where they took all this brush out, and when I say took a lot of the brush out, I mean they took probably 20 feet out. Like, it is huge how much they took out. But that is what it is. That's their right. It is the school's property. It is PFW, Purdue Fort Wayne property, that and they have the right to do that. They also stacked the brush up in front of pretty much the gap that you need to hit from Gold's there, which is more like a letter J to get out. So that gap got a lot smaller and a lot harder. I'm hoping to have my match play wrapped up before I get to hole 17, but out of all the match play events that I've ever played, 2 have been finished in regulation. Otherwise, I've had to go at least 3-4 extra holes. Whatever. I can't finish it out. It's 238. Wow, it is that short. I mean, you have to I take my stiletto that looks very much like this stiletto right here, except it's a brighter blue. This is the Chameleon Lucid X, I believe. Well, Opto X that came in the hand-eye supply box. It is beautiful. It is overstable, and it is perfect for that shot. Wow, I just saw a lot of people get on here. So that's according to UDisc, so plus or minus 15 feet. Played the blue course at Lemon Lake, my only Indiana course so far. I heard good things about Lemon Lake until they changed ownership probably 7 or 8 years ago. I don't know if that ownership has changed or policies have changed, but there's a lot of talk about how great it was. They hosted a Junior Worlds or something. They hosted a big time tournament, and unfortunately, ownership changed, management changed, and if you lose a disc, even if it's marked, if the staff finds it, they don't call you, they just sell it. So that's kind of poopy. That is over northwest-ish Indiana. It was relatively close to where I used to live. I played a couple Illinois courses when I was in Illinois, obviously. O'Brien Park, if you're ever in like the Downers Grove area, it's not great. It's a beginner course. It's got a really fun hill shot, 2 hill shots where you throw up to the top of the hill and then throw back down. There is Castaldo Park, where if you are even decent at disc golf, if you do not shoot 8 under through 9, I'm very disappointed in you because everything's a par 4. There's one par 5. And when I say par 4, I mean par 4 250, par 4 300. The one hole that's like 360 is a par 5. So I think my one lap I think I had all eagles and a birdie, and I was very mad at myself. How often do you hear that? Oh man, I had 7 eagles and a birdie. God, I played like crap. That was just the worst disc golf I've ever played. But it's a beginner course. I have not played that one. Obviously, Delwood Park, got to get out there. I don't know if the Oaks in Mokina is still around, but when I was there, that was about 45 minutes. And that course had a 27-hole layout with multiple tee pads, shorts, mediums, and longs, which is pretty sweet. I had a bunch of fun playing that back when I didn't know what I was doing when I was playing. So that could have even been 2 years ago. That's all right. But going back to Music City Open, bouncing all around here, ADD, it's a rough thing. So some of the shots that were landing in the circle, like 20-foot looks, were in the brush. And not just like, oh, you're at the brush, you don't have a great look, but there's a chance you'll make it. No, you're in the shul and you have zero chance to get out. People are pitching out. Everybody's pitching out. I only got to watch about 15 minutes. That happened to be watching Evelina 3-putt and Macy Veladiaz pitch out from 25 feet because it was that bad. Like, it was that chock full of crap. Like, I don't know what you do. During that last round, we had several different people vying for the win, including, and this is the FPO side. On the men's side, it was a little more clear cut. On the FPO side, it was Macy Veladiaz, Kat Murch, Holly Finley, and Henna Blomroos were all right there in the mix. And I think at one point, each one of them had at least a share of the lead, if not outright lead for one hole, give or take. But the winner was Missy Gannon. She played pretty well. And Chris Dickerson, who had 2 great rounds. And then his final round was good enough. He was playing really well, but it was just like he had a step down from how he played the previous 2 rounds. Yeah. And that's, I agree with Hydroponics. The MCO course looked all right to play, but hardly Pro Tour material. I think that's why it is on the Silver Series. And I do have some thoughts about that I can go into. I think that was everything I want to talk about with Music City Open. Nikko plays slow. He putts really slow. He actually did get a warning from Jeff Spring, but then nothing came of it as he kept doing it. If you're going to have the 30-second rule, use it. If we're not going to use it, lose it. That's kind of where I'm at. That's where that is. If you're going to warn him about being slow and then nothing changes for multiple holes after that, you have to stroke him. Or don't warn him. Don't worry about it. Don't do it. That's kind of where I'm at. Beating a dead horse at this point, I don't know what you do to change it. If you go with 40 seconds or 45 seconds and then go, all right, you guys are done. That's it. 45 seconds, you're stroked, whatever, move on, have a nice day. Silver Series and Pro Tour. Right now, there really isn't much of a difference, especially with some of these. Some of the Nikko needs to give not smoking pot a try. Dude's been high 24/7 since he was a young teenager. Honestly, you could say that about a decent amount of the touring pros. It is kind of fading away, but I'd be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked, I should say. But Silver Series versus Pro Tour, not much of a difference as it stands right now. They're actually encouraged, in my opinion, a lot of times encouraged to play Silver Series because you get up to a total of 75 points from playing Silver Series. You win 25 points from each Silver Series. Your top 3 are taken and dropped out. And then for Pro Tour events, it's your top 8. I believe it's still your top 8. So yeah, that's they're kind of being encouraged to do that. And I think they should be, discouraged from doing that. Whether that's changing the point structure, just not incentivizing them to play that, like, getting a chance to have more. Basically, the Silver Series, what I think the goal is to make it the minor leagues. It's to be, the D League or G League, whatever basketball calls it now, or, AAA baseball, or, I don't know, juniors hockey, or AHL. I don't know why I blanked on the AHL, or along those lines, where, you got these great players and you give them a chance to develop, to get better, and then they can move up to the Pro Tour. Right now, there's pretty much zero path. If you don't have a tour card, you can't get a tour card next year, essentially. Like, you can still get into events, there's still some openings, but it's going to be really, really hard. And I think, I don't know. I think the Silver Series just needs to be delineated more. I think there needs to be more Pro Tour events. Take some of those Silver Series and make them Pro Tour events and add in new tournaments, because then it becomes a proving ground. You can rotate in Pro Tour events and Silver Series. If some people are complaining about all the courses that we play in Texas, they play 3, really. The Open at Belton, Waco, and Texas State's 2 Pro Tour and a Silver Series. Change 1 or 2 of those to Silver Series. Maybe put them same weekends or opposite weekends or different. I don't know exactly how the logistics would work with that, but give them an opportunity to have a full Silver Series schedule, have a full Pro Tour schedule, where there's no point for the top of the top Pro Tour guys and gals to go play Silver Series and vice versa. Now, will they still have some tournaments? Like, everybody still shows up to the Memorial, and that's just an A tier now. Like, everybody still holds up to that one. And so it's one of those things where for a while pros are still going to show up to whatever. I think that as the sport starts to grow, we need to do that. That also gives a chance not only for the pro guys and gals to get some experience, whether it's the top 5 finishers, top 10 finishers, get the opportunity to have a tour card, the top or the bottom 5, 10, whatever it is of the Pro Tour don't get a tour card and they have to drop down, try to earn their way back up. Maybe it works something like that. I don't know exactly. Things are still changing, but it gives a chance also for Pro Tour to test out some things with the Silver Series, because not as many people care. Open at Belton had that ramp in front of hole 17, I think. But whatever hole it was, it was interesting. You could throw a roller and it could ace, or you could throw a skip shot up. I believe you had to call your bank first for it to count. I'm just making crap up, but you get the idea, where you could try out some different things there, maybe try out some different formats, work on some TDs to get them more experience, get commentators to get more experience. You have same guys working on calling Silver Series, then they get called up to the big leagues. It would be a great way to improve the commentating in disc golf. Yep, that's about all I'm going to say with that. It could be improved. You get new camera operators, things to try out there, work with that, and so on and so forth. You see how the Silver Series is the minor leagues, but not just for the pro disc golfers. It's for everybody involved. I think it would be a great idea. Did you just solve the pro rel for disc golf before U.S. Soccer figured it out for MLS? U.S. Soccer has got their head so far up their butt, they're wearing their small intestine like a wizard's hat. There's no way we should be sucking that much for the World Cup, and that is a whole different story. I don't even watch soccer all that much, and we suck. We are terrible. Men's team has got a lot of work to do. But, thank you for listening to Joe's Soccer Podcast. Now, all right. Those are kind of the things there. And like I said, I don't know. It depends how many you give out. Like, you give out 100 tour cards on the men's side, and that would, bottom 10, sorry, you're down, and vice versa. top 10 from Silver Series, if we're getting there. Same thing, women's side, I don't know how many they're giving out, but maybe 5, around 5, 6, depends on how many, maybe, 10%, call it whatever 10% ends up being. And that's one of the other growing things too, is MPO and FPO are starting to get large enough where you're going to have to start thinking about splitting the tour. I don't know how that looks. I've actually been thoroughly enjoying watching the FPO coverage here this year. Been a little more unpredictable, a little more exciting to watch. But, hey, you never know. MPO, we'll see how that turns out. I'm excited to see the Champions Cup, which I'll have a preview of that next week. Holy macaroni, I've been talking for 45 minutes already. Wow. Hey, there's no chance of brain potato with headers. My head hurts. Hydroponic soccer, yeah. I like the way y'all be bouncing the ball off your heads and stuff. I may or may not have editorialized that last word. Poopy. So that's about that. We also have College Disc Golf Nationals going on. That started on Wednesday, I believe, or maybe it started today on the 7th. Either way, I do want to say that their website sucks. You go to collegediscgolf.com. Their website is pretty rough, but I will be going there. I'm going to be looking up a few things here, talking about that. It is being held currently in Marion, North Carolina. All the stuff is being post-produced. Why? I don't care. Why did you not open? Okay. iPad is freaking out a little bit here. But they'll have the live recaps from the PDGA. It'll be post-produced by the PDGA, so your mileage will definitely vary on enjoyability. But we have here the top 10 men's teams, and the way they do this is kind of weird. So each team of men has 4 players. There is a team play aspect to this where it's kind of like doubles-ish. It's doubles combined with alternate shot doubles. So you have an odd and an even team. And odd teams tee off first, tee off for odd number holes, even for even number holes. Both of those odd people tee off on hole 1. The group decides which of the 2 shots they take. Then the other team, the evens, will throw the next shot, and so on and so forth, which is kind of interesting. It's an interesting way to do team play. Women's, I think it's just straight up doubles. But yeah, on the men's side, your top 10 teams are number 1, Missouri. Number 2, Texas. Number 3, Kennesaw State. Then we've got Clemson and Portland State 5th. Cincinnati. I know someone's happy about Cincinnati. Them Bearcats are number 6 on the men's side. Number 7 is Ferris State. 8, North Carolina Charlotte. Number 9, Illinois State. Go Illinois. And then Pitt State. I almost read that as Pitt Stain. Oh, Pitt Stain is number 10. On the women's side, we have Ferris State, Virginia Tech, North Carolina, Missouri, South Alabama, as opposed to North Alabama. I thought there was just a North Carolina and a South Carolina. Number 6 is Clemson. And then we have Southern Arkansas, Milligan, okay, Kennesaw State, and Tennessee Tech. I'll be curious to see how the teams end up doing. There are some potentials of some of the people going pro here in the short term. From what I understand, Rebecca Minnick is a total beast from Virginia Tech and should actually do really well. Yeah, they're playing the same course. It'll be interesting. The rules and everything, you can find them there. There are a whole bunch of qualifiers. Purdue Fort Wayne will hopefully be making it next week, but next year, but who knows what's going on there. Lastly, well, maybe not lastly, you may or may not have heard of the incident that happened with Joel Freeman at the Music City Open. He played his shot. He was in the crap near the basket, and he was in there bad. He pretty much looked at his lie, saw some thorns, and was like, hey, I can't play this. Can I take casual relief? His card mates discussed it. I think Nathan Queen was on there, and he's like, yeah, no, I could get in there, no problem. His card mates pretty much agreed with that. There was a little bit of a discussion back and forth. They said, hey, let's talk about, let's talk to the TD. Let's talk to the tournament director. Something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing here because I didn't catch it all. Essentially, then what happened is Joel Freeman took casual relief without his card saying he can, and he pitched out, putted out, and then got a stroke for a misplay. He had a cryptic Instagram post that has been deleted. He later posted a video on Instagram clarifying everything. I've not had a chance to watch it, but what it does come down to is they really needed to clean that course up. And either mark, because there were, I mean, you could see it on camera. You could see it with the way everybody was trying to get in and out. There were a ton of thorns there, and they needed to, at the very least, clean out the thorns. Like, I'm used to playing at courses with tons and tons of honeysuckle, which is just absolute jail, especially when the leaves come in. But, you know, thorns are no bueno. And I get you can't clean them all out, but if the whole, of all the brush is just thorns, you got to do something else. You got to pick something else. It's not a good look for even a Silver Series, and that is a quick way to get off the Silver Series. Just a quick word about the Open at Tallahassee. A ton of people are skipping it, to say the least. A ton of people are dropping out because they just want to get more practice in for the upcoming Champions Cup, which has a lot of money at stake there, $100,000 purse. Haven't seen how it breaks down for everybody, but you're looking at playing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, finishing Sunday, having a long drive from Tallahassee, Florida, all the way up to Augusta, Georgia, fighting the Masters crowd because, you know, poor planning on the PDGA's part. They hired people to get this, you know, run the tournaments and do all this stuff. They are in charge of setting the schedule, and they picked the week right after the Masters. So that week that everybody's coming in to try to prep, they're not actually getting a chance to do what they're supposed to be doing. Why is my everything freaking out here? Screen's freaking out. Something's freaking out. But looking through the list here, not a lot of people that I would recognize. Ian Burchett is playing. Looking. Wow. Yep. Albert Tam. Got to look real far here. Not looking good is all I can say about that. On the FPO side, we have Kona Panis, Sarah Hokum, Jessica Weiss, Alexis Mondahano, Lisa Fakis, Maria Oliva, Valerie Mondahano. Okay, so they put them in reverse order here. Let's see. Gannon Byrne, Mason Ford, Matty O, Garrett Gerthy, Connor O'Reilly. It looks like we're going to be seeing a lot of different people at this tournament. And it looks like my viewership has dropped off precipitously here, using my big boy words. And apparently nobody's here. Nobody's watching, according to YouTube, but I don't believe it because YouTube can be lying to me sometimes. Or not, I don't know. But that's about that. Open at Tallahassee, not a very well attended tournament. No surprise there with the poor scheduling. If this was, they should have spread this out a little more. Is about all I got to say. But that, I think, about does it. Unless anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, screams of pain, you could leave those all in the YouTube chat right now. Otherwise, I think that about does it. We talked about a lot of fun stuff here. You can always get a hold of me on Twitter, on Instagram at Joe's Disc Golf. You can shoot me an email, joe@joesdiscgolf.com. You can go to joesdiscgolf.com, where I have been less than stellar with updating the news reports, although there was an April Fool's joke, a couple April Fool's jokes up there. One of those written by RJ Edwards, and may or may not be an alias, talking about the new sponsor for the Disc Golf Pro Tour, Bud Light, because everybody needs a Bud Light. Got to stay hydrated there. That's about all I got to say about that. Fun stuff there going on, trying to keep up with all the latest news and the great happenings here in the disc golf world. But that about does it for the show here. So I want to thank you all for watching. If you get a great tree kick back into the fairway, you got to thank Treesus. If you get kicked deeper into the woods, then you need to repent and reflect, because you have transgressed against Treesus. And yeah, you just need to make it better. So thank you all for watching. I've been Joe. You've been awesome. And I can't wait to see you all in the next video.